You want to attend workshops and networking events, but factors like location, budget, schedule always make it difficult. Last year, I wrote a book, Four Horsemen, a mixing and music production, how to get an industry quality sound using what you already have. And that book is available on Amazon. And thanks to that book, I've been doing a lot more speaking events, a lot more lectures, a lot more workshops. That book has been added to different libraries, and I've been talking at these libraries. And again, I realize not everyone can attend all of these events in person due to many different factors. But I also wanted a way to give more to this growing online community we have going. And if you're not subscribed yet, make sure you go do that. Hit that bell as well. Like, share, comment. Last year, for the first time, I was also able to bring you guys with me to studios like Criteria in Miami. That's one of the biggest studios in Miami. And also, we did a session breakdown at Berkeley in New York City. I want to continue to give you guys more of that. Coast to Sound TV. Coast to Sound! So we're at the music production workshop, Four Horsemen book. Check it out. Kind of already asked this question, but does anybody in here already work on music or music production, audio? You work on music? What do you do? You work on software?
Yeah.
On your computer?
Yes.
What do you work on?
Actually, no, it's on my phone.
Oh, no, that's cool too. What do you work on, like GarageBand?
I'm sorry.
GarageBand? Like, what's the name of the program you work on?
It's musicproducer.
What is it?
Musicproducer.
Oh, you have that on your phone? Oh, cool. Yeah.
I did video production.
This could actually help you with video production too, because audio pertains to kind of everything. You know, like if you're doing video production, if you're doing live sound for bands, if you're doing sound at a church, whatever it is that you're doing, you know, this is gonna like cover the fundamentals of audio. So it doesn't matter like how you're working with audio, but this is more like understanding the software, understanding the gear, like how audio works. So you can kind of apply it to anything. This is my book, Four Horsemen of Mixing and Music Production. This book is gonna be available in the library. So we are putting it here. It's available in a couple different libraries, but if you want to buy it online, it's on Amazon. So the book covers four fundamentals, really. It's equalization, compression, gain staging and balancing, imaging and panning. That sounds like a lot if you've never dealt with audio before, but those are like the fundamentals of audio to me. I feel like when I grasped those concepts, I like really understood what I was doing more. So, but we're gonna go through all of that in the slides. I'm gonna try to get through it as fast as possible, and then you guys can ask whatever questions you want. We'll open up some sessions in the end. So what is music production? A record producer makes and implements creative decisions concerning and directly affecting the overall song, be it choice of singers, instruments, lyrics, samples, style, arrangement, effects. That's the Google definition of a music producer. But basically, a music producer is being hired for their taste and their ideas and what they know about music, but also being in tune with what's going on, you know what I mean? Like what's hot now, what's on the radio, what are the hits, what do hits sound like, what are all the trends going on? So a producer is a tastemaker. A producer is aware of all of that. When you bring a producer into the studio, that's what you want from them. You want them to make your song cool, you want them to make your song sound as best as possible, and whether they know all the tools or not, they will hire the right audio engineers, they'll hire the right musicians. For those of you who said you play instruments, being like a session player in sessions is a whole different career too. Being a songwriter. So all of these people are in the studio at the same time, and the music producer is kind of navigating all of that and telling everybody what to do. Again, that's what being a music producer is. Yes, you are being hired for your technical ability, but more importantly, your taste and your ideas. Your technical abilities are the skills you have to help bring the ideas to life. You can outsource and collaborate. That's kind of like what we already went over. Like there's a lot of people in the studio. It's not just a music producer, right? There could be session musicians, it could be writers, it could be engineers. Everybody's like contributing to the overall record. And then your taste is influenced by culture. Like I said, why I was able to easily transition from like DJ to producer is because you're out in the clubs, you playing on radio, you kind of like know what people want, right? Like you know what's hot at the time, you know what the trends are, you know what's going on in the club. Once you know all of that, you kind of like start to understand how to put a song together, an arrangement together, what a song should sound like. You might not have like the technical ability yet, but you can learn that through education and time, right? And we're gonna go over some of that again. EQ, compression, gain staging, how things function in a studio. All of that is like technical ability. So this is Rick Rubin. If you guys are looking like, who's this old dude, funny looking old dude? He's actually like a super producer and a legend. He helped start Def Jam Records back in the day. He worked on like Run DMC and LL Cool J. And then in more modern times, he worked with like Jay-Z. He was on Kanye West albums. So he's still like and he did a lot of rock music. He's like multi-genre. He's still like a very sought out producer. But he said, I have no technical ability and I know nothing about music. That's his like famous quote. He was like on an interview recently and that's what he said. So people were shocked that he said that. But again, he's explaining how he's being hired for his taste and how he directs the vision for the song or how he like brings the best out of the artist, right?
So you can't even play the instruments?
He could probably pick up a guitar. Like I play keys, I play a tiny bit of guitar, and I do know music theory. So like when I'm talking to musicians, but I'm not like a bassist, right? So if I need some crazy funky bass line, or if I need like a guitar solo, I'm not playing that myself. I'm gonna go pay somebody and hire somebody to do that. You know, like the bachata record I just worked on, I had someone that like plays on Romeo Santos productions, you know? So I had like a guitar player that's skilled in solely that, you know, that's his specialty. So I'd rather use somebody like that than me like try to do it myself. And you know what I mean? It doesn't sound like authentic or the way it needs to sound. So what should I focus on learning? We talked about some of this already. Some of you guys said you're learning music theory, instruments, audio engineering, songwriting and arrangement, or just straight up like making beats on some sort of software. Like you already brought up FL Studio, GarageBand comes free with your Mac. Some of you might have Logic Pro. There's a lot of software available, a lot of DAWs is what they're called, Digital Audio Workstations, available on your phone, on your laptop. So there's a lot of different options for like beat making and starting. So focus on what you're passionate about. There's a million different genres, there's a million different sounds, right? But don't try to master everything. Like do what you love, do what you're good at, do what you know, you know? So if you're, I don't know, if you're into rock music or something, but you know like hip hop is hot and that's like the trend at the time, don't go try to make hip hop, like do what you do, you know what I mean? Do what you're good at. Again, taste and everything is based on culture, around your environment, what you're influenced by, what you grew up listening to. I always recommend like be true to yourself. Focus on your specialty, focus on like what makes you you. Pick something that you would do for free. Like when I was young, when I was like your age, I would do this day and night. I would come home from school and I'm scratching and I'm practicing on turntables. And with my extra money, I'll take the train to New York by myself and go buy some vinyls or CDs, tapes, whatever it was at the time. And I was just obsessed with it. Initially, no one was paying me to do it. I know we're all focused on money, but no one was paying me to do it. I was just like driven by passion. Then I got really good at it, and then eventually I started getting paid to do it. So how does a producer make money? These are 3 different ways. In advance, I'll go through this quick because I know this is a little more advanced. Advance is just being paid up front, like, hey, I'm gonna give you $5,000 for that production. So that's like being paid straight up just to do the job. Your mechanical royalties are the royalties you make from stores, online streams, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and stuff like that. Then your publishing royalty is performance royalties. That's when the song like plays on the radio, TV, commercials, television shows, all of that. So you collect money mainly like 3 different ways as a producer. This is just the organizations that you register to collect your royalties. ASCAP, BMI, CSAC being like the main 3. This is sync licensing, like I mentioned briefly. When you make your money from publishing, television, commercials, TV shows, that's called sync licensing. So you're licensing your song to them and they pay you for that and you also collect royalties for that. So that's called sync licensing. These are digital audio workstations that we talked about: Pro Tools, Logic, GarageBand, Ableton, FL Studio. Those are like the main ones that you hear most people talking about. I use the top 2. I use Pro Tools and Logic mainly. I'm certified in Logic. I am familiar with Ableton and FL. And GarageBand is basically like a simpler version of Logic that comes free on any Mac. So GarageBand and Logic are like 2 in the same. Logic Pro is just the more professional version of GarageBand. I'm familiar with all of them, really. Analog versus digital, that's a picture of like a really cool studio with very expensive equipment. Some of those consoles, and what I mean by consoles, like the big mixing consoles, some of those consoles could run from like 50,000 to like 500,000. I've worked on like $500,000 consoles. But what your DAW attempts to do now, your software, thanks to technology, you're kind of getting all of those tools right in your laptop, right? So it's faster, more efficient, cheaper, everyone has access to it. Kind of like technology gives us that privilege. So don't take that for granted, right? Like understand that and know that that's $1 million studio, $500,000 studio. Back in the day, not everyone had access to that. That was very exclusive. You either didn't have the money, you didn't know the right people. It was hard to get into these studios, you know? Nowadays, everyone's making music at home. Go ahead, you had another question?
Oh yeah, do people just give you like, okay, so does it work like, do people give you demos? Like,
Yes.
okay, so they just give you demos and they ask you to mix things and.
Yeah. They'll give me, so a lot of the time I get, they'll come into the studio with a rough idea that's literally like recorded on their iPhone. Like say it's like an acoustic rendition of the song, right? Like they just picked up a guitar, wrote a song, sang it, and they just literally recorded on a voice note. They'll come in with a voice note and they'll be like, can you recreate this? Can you produce this? Can you, so I have to go through the whole process, staying true to the demo, but like bringing it to life, you know what I mean? So I have to like build around that, make a production, record them, produce it, mix it, all of that, which is what we're talking about here, is building an arrangement. So again, this is like emulating like a mixing console. You have all your different channels. Every channel is a different sound, like your lead vocal, your background vocal, your drums, your pianos, etc. So this is how most DAWs look. This is a Pro Tools screen, but that's like your basic arranging window in most DAWs. Again, back to the comparison of like analog versus digital, you could hack up your audio here, but back in the day, they actually used to hack it up like this. It was super difficult, super primitive. Like you would actually have to like cut the tape with a razor, put it back together. That's how they would do like audio edits back in the day. But again, thanks to technology, we can do that super easy and make 1 million edits and just go crazy with it. And then that's your mixer. Again, that's like emulating a regular analog console. That's just an example of an analog mixer. And I know this is always intimidating when people look at this and there's like 1 million knobs, but it's actually not as complicated as you think. Those are just individual channels, right? So let's say there's 20 channels there. All the knobs are dedicated to one channel. So all you're really looking at is like a volume, some EQs above that, like some panning knobs above that, and then it's just a bunch of individual channels. So it's not as complicated as it looked. That's always like intimidating to people when they ask me like, you know what all those knobs do? And it's like, yeah, it's just repeated over and over. It's not really like 1 million knobs that do 1 million different things. But we'll get into that a little further too. So this is what the book covers: the gain, staging, and balancing, equalization, panning and imaging, and compression. That's like the 4 horsemen that I focus on in the book. And that pertains to anything, by the way. I know we're talking about music production a lot, but again, this could pertain to live audio, this could pertain to DJing, this could pertain to audio engineering in the studio, recording engineer, mixing engineer, mastering engineer. This pertains to all of that. Any time you're dealing with audio, for you that you said you do video production and stuff like that, this will pertain to all of that when you're dealing with audio. So gain staging is basically getting everything out of the red. That's like the first thing you do in any production or mix. You don't want to be like clipping and distorting. That's like the first thing that you do. So you get everything out of the red so you don't go into distortion and you don't get like that gritty sound. You get like a nice clean signal and you avoid clipping. And then it gives you plenty of headroom to work with too. Like I said, let me see if I have an example of headroom here. Yeah, you see how like where it's green and then there's like a nice space above it, like a couple decibels. Decibels is just a measurement of volume, by the way. But then you see how like the cumulative volume of that is making the mastering clip. You see how it's red at the end? That's because those channels are too loud. So if you bring all those channels down like this, the volume of those channels when they're all playing together through the master, you won't be clipping on your master. So you want to give yourself like nice headroom to work with, make sure everything is in the green. That's the first thing you do. And then also the balancing aspect, it's gain staging and balancing kind of go hand in hand. The balancing aspect is like what you want more prominent, where you want more out front, and what you want in the back, right? So like if you have like a lead vocal, you want that more out front. If you have a background vocal, you want that more in the back, so you're gonna put that lower. And you do the same things with your instruments. If you want your kick and your snare like way out front, like hitting really hard, you would put that louder than your other instruments, etc. So that's balancing. But while you're balancing, again, you want to stay in the green and not be clipping. Equalization is basically just controlling frequencies. When you look at an equalizer, it's 20 hertz to 20 kHz. So that's the spectrum of human hearing. So that's basically the whole frequency spectrum, right? Think of it like a frequency volume. You're just turning frequencies up and down, right? That's what equalization is. So you're narrowing down specific frequencies and saying, I want more highs, I want more lows, I want more mids, and then you're just controlling that, right? This is like a frequency spectrum guide. This is also in the book. This tells you like where every instrument is kind of the most prominent within the frequency spectrum. Again, that 20 hertz to 20 kHz. So like 30 to 70 hertz would be like your low end, and then your kick is like 80 hertz. So your vocals will be like poking out around 5 kHz. The hi-hats, you know, that sound on top will be like 11 kHz. Panning and imaging is, you guys know stereo, when you're hearing one thing on the left side, one thing on the right side, one thing down the center. Nowadays, they even have like Dolby Atmos. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. Maybe if you guys have like the Apple EarPods or something like that, you could have like surround sound. So, but when we're dealing with mono and stereo, it's just kind of like utilizing that stereo field, putting some things on the left, putting some things on the right, putting some things down the center. That's the basic idea of panning. And again, that's mono versus stereo. Mono means one, stereo means more than one. So your mono signal could be like straight down the center. Your stereo sounds could be off to the sides, and that's how you get like a nice, clean, wide image. And it kind of gives you like when you're wearing headphones, it gives you that experience, you know? Some instruments are on the left, some instruments are on the right, or you could do that with vocals, then your lead vocals down the center, things like that. You could get creative with that. So this kind of explains that difference between mono. Mono is like one signal down the center. That's a stereo piano, it's a little wider. It's utilizing both sides. You might hear it a little more on the left side than the right side. And then when we're talking about an imager, it's just like how wide do you want it? You can spread it out more. And then compression, a compressor squeezes the signal, because when you're doing like a live performance, when you're playing like live instruments, live guitar, live drums, anything live, there's a lot of dynamics, which is just a variation in volume. So a compressor makes the louder peaks lower and then lower peaks higher. So it kind of just balances the signal, gets you a more controlled signal. And that's basically the function of a compressor. We could go deeper into compression. The book does go much deeper into compression. This is probably one of the most complex or misunderstood things about audio. But again, if I could sum it up in the simplest way, it's kind of crushing the signal to balance it, bringing those louder peaks lower, those lower peaks higher, gives you more balanced, controlled signal. And that's like a basic compressor. Those are the basic settings within a compressor. And now we are open for questions, open up sessions. Any other questions? What would I say, what?
Out of the two professions, DJ and producing,
I don't know. They kind of go hand in hand. Like I know it seems like that, like it's like separate professions, but I don't really view it that way. I kind of just view it as like evolution, you know, like when I was young, I was DJing, I was in the clubs a lot. Then I got married and I had kids. So I'm like, you know, I didn't want to be out as much, you know? So I got a little older and I just liked working in the studio more, helping people make records and stuff like that. So it's just kind of like, for me, it's like an evolution. It's a natural progression, you know, like, but it all stems from DJing, to be honest with you. Like I said, DJing kind of, and just being obsessed with music and having, I had thousands of vinyls, and I still have thousands of vinyls in my house now, and I collect them. So I'm just like, I was just such a fan and passionate about music and obsessed with music that I would just study it, all kinds of genres, you know, and that kind of like got me into everything else. But it all stems from DJing, really.
What is your favorite genre and musician?
Genre and musician. I would say everything started with hip hop, man, honestly. Yeah, like that was my first thing. Initially I was like super stubborn when I was like 16. I didn't even want to play anything other than hip hop. But then I'm like getting hired for gigs and I'm just like playing hardcore hip hop, and then like nobody's on the dance floor. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I should switch it up or whatever. Then I started like, learning about other genres and appreciating other genres, you know. But when I was like 15, 14, I started when I was 14.
What was the genre that you learned outside of, you got into outside of, like the first genre you got?
Outside of hip hop,
Yeah.
it was hip hop, R&B, and reggae. That's what I was really like into. Hip hop, R&B, and reggae, yeah. And then outside of that, I got into like house music, dance music, EDM, and stuff like that. Everything we're talking about today is not genre specific, you know? Like when we're talking about like building an arrangement, using a DAW, mixing the production, EQ, compression, all of that, that's not genre specific. It doesn't really matter what you make or what you're passionate about. That's why in the beginning I said like focus on your thing, you know? Like don't make hip hop just because everybody else is making hip hop or because I make hip hop. Like do you. This is a Jersey artist with Pitbull. The Jersey artist's name is Chris Porter. So he's somebody that I grew up with in like the club scene, and he made a couple of records that were like playing all over the world. And then he made this record with Pitbull that I helped him work on. So that's it. So I'm on the phone with Pitbull's management with the artist, and then it's like midnight, and they tell me, hey, Pitbull's vocals are in. We got to get started on this record, and it's midnight. And he was like, you have to finish this as soon as possible. So I just stayed up all night. I was finished with the mix by like 5 a.m. And then I sent it back to their management. So I wasn't even in the studio with Pitbull. They just record and they send me the sessions, and then I work on it. This is a bachata record that I recently worked on. This girl was on The Voice in Dominican Republic. So she did well on there. She's from New York City. She came to my house and she wanted to do this record. This is the record that I told you I had this kid, I think his name is Junior, but he's from Elizabeth too, I believe, and he plays on like some Romeo Santos productions and stuff, but he's a really good bachata guitar player. Oh, it's like a rendition too of Amy Winehouse record. It's like a remake. Yeah, but like I said, she was on The Voice in DR. She has like a great vocal, amazing voice. And she's tiny. You can look her up too. Her name is Yancy Abreu. She's from New York City. I could play you another record too. Do you guys know who, he's like a comedian, social media influencer. His name is Fat Poppy. You know who that is? I just made a record for him. It's funny because the name of the record is called Flowers, but if you guys are familiar with him, he's like, he goes around to like his favorite restaurants and like taste food and stuff like that. So yeah, so the idea was he wanted a record that he could go around to his favorite restaurants and like give them flowers. So we took this like old house record and then like I flipped it, remixed it, remade it into like a kind of Jersey club record. This we literally did like not even 2 weeks ago. It's super recent. So this is not even out yet. So I'm playing like stuff that I shouldn't be playing, but okay. So here's see how the session is like still very raw. So you get the idea. He's not actually like performing on it. He's just kind of like hosting it, talking over it.
Hey, real nigga, Lee, what's up? Hey, Rob, what's up, baby? Hey, bro, what is your fault?
Excuse me, y'all. You know, sometimes we wait too long to give what's important to us a little appreciation.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
So I want to give some.
You hear me in the back?
That's right, I want to give some to things I desire most. Come on now, let me take you there, Jersey. I know you feel me on this one. We got another one, Jersey. I know you feel me. When the food touch my spoon, that's when I get flowers.
Jersey.
I know y'all like that one. What I say? I said, when the food touch my spoon, that's when I get flowers. Flowers. That's right, flowers. When the food touch my spoon, that's when I get flowers. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right.
Well, that's it. He's basically just talking about food over the whole record.
That was really good, especially at the beginning.
Yeah, he's funny. He's definitely like a character.
I like the chorus.
Yeah, the original is like a classic house record, but then like when you get here to the middle, I like break it down, like flip it and remix it. So I could play you like everything individually.
The fool touched my spoon.
Then here is like there's like some bed squeaks and all kind of. You know that Jersey club sound with that 808? So that's what we did. We just broke it down, flipped it, remixed it while he like talks on it and stuff like that. But this was like his idea again. Like you asked before, like do people come to me with demos? It's like, yeah, all the time. He came and said, this is what I want. This is what I envision. This is what I picture. And I basically, even the arrangement wise, I kind of just like brought his idea to life. You know what I mean? Huh? Yeah, he came to my house to record this. I have a studio in my house. I built it in like, during the pandemic. I couldn't really, like I said, I travel, I go to a lot of different studios. But during the pandemic, I'm like, what do I do? Because I can't really like go outside of my house. So I built a studio in my house. And that was like a blessing because now it like really comes in handy. I utilize it a lot. Any other questions? You guys want me to show you anything else? We still got like 6 minutes if you guys want me to answer any more questions.
Yeah, what school did you go to? Yes.
For which one?
Yeah, what school did you go to? DJ.
Oh, DJing, I didn't really go to school. There was no school at the time. Like, you guys, this, again, I want to emphasize this. Like, don't take for granted the access you guys have. You guys think that you don't have access, but at the time, when I'm coming up and I'm your age, I didn't have YouTube. I didn't have any online resources. There's no schools around me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I met another DJ. I saved up, bought one turntable. I saved up, bought another turntable. Saved up my lunch money. I'm not even eating food, so I can just go buy vinyl. Then I'm just home practicing all day. And if I got like copies of VHSs, I'm watching DJs and I'm like trying to imitate what they're doing. And then when I was like 16, I entered Union County in Cranford. I entered like a DJ battle there. And I cut school to be there. And everybody's like in their 20s, everybody's like already in college. But I battled everybody and I won. That's because I was just sitting home for 2 years practicing, you know. And then from there, they started inviting me to like play at clubs and stuff like that. And then as far as, I did go to Kane University. And Kane University, I was going for communications at the time. Communications is like I was doing a radio station there. Okay, I'm rocking all these clubs, but I want to like evolve as a DJ. So at the time, I thought the natural evolution would be like radio, you know what I mean? But so I'm doing like college radio at Kane. And then I just find myself working in studios because we're like making commercials, edits, remixes, whatever for the radio. But then I kind of like fall in love with that and like working on my own stuff, you know what I mean? And then I did get a certification in Logic. I just went to like an Apple certification because Logic is owned by Apple. So I got like an Apple certification for that. I recently got another certification for that, what I was explaining to you, Dolby Atmos, which is kind of like the future of the industry, more of like that surround sound stuff, you know? It's more like popular in theaters, but if you have certain headphones, you can experience it. And they want to make it more like mainstream, where everybody has like access to it. So I got a certification in that. So it's like, and think of it like this from a technology standpoint. Technology is changing every 6 months to a year, right? So even if I got a certification or some kind of degree 5 years ago, if I don't update myself, I'm just like, I'm a dinosaur, like I'm lost, you know what I mean? So this thing of it is like, that's why like when we talked about in the beginning, pursue something you're passionate about, because like I'm just driven to do that. Like what's the newest plugin? What's the newest software? I'm gonna go study it as soon as it comes out, you know?
How did it feel working for your first artist? How did it feel?
I still, to this day, I feel like I can't believe people are paying me to do this. Like, that's how I feel, you know? And thank God that I have a wife, I have 3 kids, I have a house, and all I've ever really done is music, you know? So I feel like it's a privilege to do that, and not many people get the opportunity to do that, so I'm grateful every day. And if I'm rocking a club and somebody's giving me thousands of dollars to do that, I'm like, I feel like I'm stealing money. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I would do this in my bedroom if you weren't paying me to do it. You know what I mean? That's how it really feels.
I heard that, like, if you get a job that you like, it feels like you're never working.
It's just like I said, I would do this in my bedroom, whether you pay me or not. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's where it starts from, that drive. Like, if you play guitar, if you just, before you go to bed, you're thinking about guitar. When you wake up, you're thinking about guitar. When you're at school, like, damn, wait till I get home to play my guitar. Like, that's what I feel. You understand what I'm saying? And that drive will take you anywhere. You're definitely gonna excel in your craft. Again, you guys have access to more resources than ever, right on your phone. I have my YouTube channel. Like, back in the day, I couldn't just like Google a professional and then watch 20 videos of his opening set. Like, everything that I just did here, I do that on my YouTube channel too. So I'm just like showing everybody exactly what I do in every session, you know? Like, I don't gatekeep information. Like, I share as much information as possible. Because I didn't have mentors when I was like your age, and I didn't have anybody like, hey, do this, you know what I mean? So I kind of like, I learned like the hard way, like on the field through trial and error. So whenever like people like your age are interested in doing something like this, I just, whatever information I have, you know what I mean? Any other questions? No? Think we're good? Yeah, we could probably wrap up.
Well, that was nice.
Cool. Hope you guys learned something. If you're interested, again, everything is available online.